And here we are at the penultimate episode of the Ahsoka series. An action-packed episode it is. But for some reason I feel that there's still so much for it to fulfill. But anyways, let's get into it. I believe you already know that there will be spoilers for this one. With all the build-up we had in the past episodes of Hera Syndulla's tension with the New Republic politicians, especially this senator right here, with all the stubbornness and the potential discharge of her command from the military, in all honesty, I didn't really like the way they handled this particular plot point. It was quite disappointing and anticlimactic. I did enjoy Anthony Daniels' return as C-3PO. I feel that it's just a fan service that doesn't really break any boundaries. But I guess many people who have been asking the question about where Luke and Leia was all this time now have a rough idea what's happening, because this is a partial answer that we have to be satisfied with for now. At least we don't have to deal with annoying politics any longer, but it was nice to see that C-3PO has a more prominent role in politics as well. I felt like this could be executed better, but you know, what's done is done. Actually, I would say the same about Hayden Christensen's appearances in this particular episode, because it felt pretty much like a repeat of what we saw in the Tales of the Jedi and Rebels. I know you can tell me that this is just a nice callback and yada yada yada. I acknowledge that it does bring a nice sentiment that Ahsoka still keeps a hologram of Anakin after so long, showing how dearly she still remembers him. But I really don't see the point of him returning again in this episode, as we have already done in episode 5. Also, I did realize how awkward it is to actually hold a lightsaber like that. It's not really practical. We spend most of the episode around Peridea following Sabine and Ezra, where most of the action takes place. I know I've said this many times about actor chemistry, but this is indeed true between Natalie Liu and Eman Esfandi, with all these little moments of humor, especially when Ezra outright refuses to take back his lightsaber, and Sabine was really not confident with using it at all. The action sequences that Ezra and Sabine have are kind of interesting if you think about it. We have never really seen someone combining force pushes with his own fists, and another person wielding a blaster and a lightsaber at the same time, with a combination of grenades and flamethrowers. But Sabine, why didn't you use this in earlier episodes when you were fighting Shin Hati? And another gripe I had with this episode, in regard to Ezra and Sabine, was that the fact that Sabine was still keeping Ezra in the dark about how she ended up here. There just doesn't seem to be any grave realization that because of her actions, Thrawn is able to return to the galaxy, and there's an actual danger to the New Republic. There doesn't seem to be any consequences for her actions, and she's somehow able to get away scot-free as she reunites with Ahsoka and Sabine. And that is the end of the episode, which honestly, I was hoping for more. This leads me to my next point, which is the undermining of the antagonist in this particular episode. Lars Mikkelson's portrayal of Thrawn was flawless, with his cold, cunning tactics, planning a trap, and predicting their every move. I also did enjoy the brief moment when you can see Thrawn experience genuine fear when it is mentioned that Anakin Skywalker was Ahsoka's master. But like I said, the elements of this episode just kinda did him a disservice. Somehow, Thrawn just didn't feel like that villain that poses a real threat, just a convenient scapegoat. Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll also had their problems in this particular episode. The only line which stood out to me in particular was Baylan's final piece of advice to Shin, that impatience in victory would lead to defeat. But knowing how Shin is, and obviously how outmatched she will be fighting the likes of Ahsoka, Ezra and Sabine, I think it's fair to say that that piece of advice was wasted on her. And while many people were praising how Baylan stole the show in previous episodes, the show stole everything from him in this particular episode, because the only thing he did here was act in a way that Thrawn did not anticipate, thereby ruining his plan. Now he's just stranded in the middle of nowhere without a mount. Ahsoka vs Baylan round 2 just did not have the same feels as their first fight. Wow. I actually didn't realize that I was able to criticize this episode so much, but here, I just did it. I really wish that there were more higher stakes in this episode, but it kind of fell short on my expectations. I just hope that the finale could just bring things together and just, you know, do justice to the Thrawn that legends fans love, and not waste Ray Stevenson's acting on Baylan Skoll. But in all honesty, I still enjoyed much of the action that we had in this episode. I just feel that some of the action sequences could have been cut out in favor of more plot points. But anyways, that's my review of episode 7 of Ahsoka. Let me know what you guys think of the episode down in the comments below. As always, may the Force be with you.